viewers, this is your boy Political Hamzy. If you do like this content, please click the like button, the subscription button, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell. Today's topic is going to be nice and simple, short and sweet. We're going to be looking at the state of banditry, terrorism and kidnapping in Nigeria. Are the government officials actually responsible for this? But before we start, we have to look at why did this spate of kidnappings and why have this situation, why has it exploded in Nigeria? Before this Boko Haram, we had the Maitesani sect in the north, which they had extremist ideology, but it was squashed. But now you have to look about what happened in the Niger Delta with the Niger Delta militants. We have seen that a large portion or a very good number of these militants are now multi-millionaires. They've made their money through their militancy and they're living well. And we can see from Tompolo, who is in charge of Tantita, that provides them security intelligence on in the creeks. They're raking in about $3 million a month.
Wow.
Contracts. So when you see such things happening, you now get other people in the creeks looking at it and say, look, why shouldn't we go into militancy? All these people like Tompolo, Ateke Tom, Asari Dokubu, they're all multimillionaires. Why shouldn't we get a piece of the action? So you see sometimes some people now go into it, not based on any ideology, but based on what those that have come before them, what they have gained financially. Now let us look at the problems in the north of Nigeria and the northeast. Yes, I do think the government is to blame, the government officials of the state, they're to blame, directly or indirectly, anyhow you want to look at it. You have in the northeast people, children not in school, you have no schools, you have no water, no infrastructure at all. So you see these people, especially like Boko Haram, they come with their ideology and they sell it to the people and the people buy into it because the people are seeing their government officials living large, they have healthcare, they have education for them and their families, they have jobs, and they now look and say, look, my children do not have healthcare, they don't have education, and they say, look, we've worked for the government and we don't even get paid our pensions. And this pushes the people into all these extremist organizations. And you look at it, look at how much has been allocated to these states from the Federation account allocation. And you ask yourself, what does the governor do with the money? Let's take, for instance, Amodu Sharif. He used to be former governor of Borno State, so as Kasim Shettima, our present vice president. And you ask yourself, when they were governors of Borno State, when you saw Boko Haram side rearing its head, what did they do? What did they do to squash that ideology? Amodu Sharif, Kasim Shettima, did they build schools? Not only building schools, did they equip the schools? Did they train the teachers appropriately? Then you now ask yourself, did they provide hospitals? Did they provide healthcare? Did they provide basic infrastructure? Did they create jobs? No, they didn't. So they helped fester this ideology, this terrorism that we're now fighting now. So they are part to blame. Like now you go to Kebbi State, the governor bought SUVs for the State House of Assembly members. These people are already okay. He could have used that money to build a school or done something that would impact on the people of that state, but they choose not to do it. And sometimes we look at it and we think there's a conspiracy, because you had IPOB in the east. Immediately IPOB rears its head. The intelligence agencies, they swing into action and they squash it. They kill it. They go there and they do what they're meant to do. So you ask them yourselves if they are able to arrest the right people when it comes to IPOB, they're able to decapitate it and they're able to stop it. Why can't they do the same thing with Boko Haram, kidnapping, and banditry? Or is it that they have ulterior motives? Because you now have to look at it. Each time you hear about these kidnappings, you have places, residential areas in those states that the rich stay, but they never go there. And you ask yourself why. These are places, if they go to and do their kidnappings, they will get paid their ransom. But why don't they go there? Do they know something we don't know? And you now have to ask yourself, are government officials involved? We saw the prison breakout in Kuje prison involving Boko Haram members. You hear people, different reports saying there were about 100 or 100 and plus bike riders or motorbikes with AK-47s that went to break the people out of prison. And you ask yourself, you had about 100 plus bike riders with AK-47s riding their motorbikes in Abuja on their way to Kuje prison, and nobody saw them. Nobody called it in. And when they even went to Kuje prison, it wasn't as if this attack was a 5 or 10 minute thing. It was like an hour plus. In this present world of technology, nobody made a call to the various security agencies. And even when they did, they weren't there on time. These people were able to escape and they weren't able to capture anybody. So you now look at these and you ask yourself, it's just the coincidence. It's just too much for you to think or say we do not have government people involved. How many times have we had kidnappings and banditry in the north? Even this present one in Kaduna that they said they rescued the student, nobody was captured. Why does that happen? Why is it we have an insurgency in the east and it's dealt with? They're able to name the players involved, but you have one going on in the north of Nigeria, but nobody is able to name those involved. And I do say government has a hand in it, because you remember there was a time a security report was presented and certain people were named. You had the Zala movement, and you had Yakubu Musa Katsina, or Yakubu Musa Hassan as he's called. This person was fingered about, being involved in this extremism. But he's still in Nigeria. Nothing has happened to him. We even saw pictures circulating of one time with our former president Buhari, and this Hassan Katsina was there. We even saw in Buhari's government, you saw Patami, one of his ministers, I think it was a digital minister of digital information. This is a minister with known extremist views. And he was actually given a position in government. And you ask yourself, TSS, they're meant to do vettings before people are appointed as ministers, before their names are forwarded to the Senate. So why wasn't he vetted? And this is something that wasn't hidden. Everybody knew about this. Why was he allowed to be a minister? So sometimes when you look at all these things, you tend to have to feel that, look, this government, they're very involved in terrorism, not this Tinubu's government. I look at the past government and certain players. But I have to say kudos to this present government for the rescue of these students in Kaduna. But you need to go one step further. You need to follow the money. Because these bandits do not carry these millions they collect in ransom in the bush. No, it is banked somewhere. It is going through the financial sector. So you need to trace this. You need to name the people involved and people helping them. We need all this information. And not only having this information, now the security agencies, you need to provide them with proper training, proper equipment, remuneration, and benefits for when they insert active service and when they retire from active service, and those that have life-changing injuries due to them fighting for Nigeria. We need to sit up. We have the men that want to fight for this country. But do we have the government officials that want to make a change? This is your boy Political Hamzy. Till we meet again, you have a nice week. Thank you.